Morning, Unity. Isn't it a gorgeous day?
Yes.
And we're all here together.
Yes.
All you gorgeous people, let's sing. We're going to sing. My God is so good to me. All right. That's right. Stand up. Help me out. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul now, God is so good. Oh yeah, feeling good down in my soul now, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul now, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of trouble, I say, God is so good. In my time of trouble, I say, in my time of trouble, I say, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Oh yeah. In my time of triumph, I say, God is so good. In my time of triumph, I say, God is so good. In my time of triumph, I say, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Gotta take the time to praise the Spirit. Take the time to praise the Spirit. Take the time to praise the Spirit. My God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me. Yeah! Good morning. Happy Sunday, Unity.
Girl can sing.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Kathy Mathis. It is my pleasure to also welcome you to Unity in Chicago. We come together every week to celebrate our oneness with each other and with that spirit that we call God. In Unity, we bless and embrace the many paths to God, many ways to experience God, and the many names for God. We come together every week to celebrate that. Whatever path you're on and wherever you are on that path, you are in the right place, and we are glad you are here with us this morning. So, as we get rolling, just a reminder to turn your phones onto meditation or miracle mode, whichever you prefer. But as long as it's quiet, it's all good. And please take a moment to check in on Facebook or social media. Let your friends know you're here. Let them know about Unity as well. We'd love to have them join us also. As we start our service, we always like to share our daily word with our friends and brothers and sisters around the world. And today's word is, let go, let God. In the silence, I feel the presence and peace of God. Jesus went to the mountaintop to pray. He left the crowds and his disciples to be fully present in the silence. My mountaintop retreat may be symbolic as I seek time apart, whether in a chapel, a favorite chair, or just quiet moments carved out from a hectic schedule. I spend time in silent communion with God. In the silence, I turn within to a private meeting place. In this inner chamber, away from other distractions, I pray, meditate, and listen. I am open and receptive to that still small voice, to inspiration and divine direction. Here in sacred oneness, I feel the assurance and peace of God. I relax my body, gently set aside my concerns, focus on my breathing, and allow myself to be enfolded in divine love. In the silence, there is peace as I let go and let God. And from Matthew 14:23, He went up to the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. And if you would like your own daily serenity break, we invite you to stop by the stations either upstairs or down to get your copy of the Daily Word. And now let's welcome Reverend Heidi.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Good morning. Good morning. Am I on here? All right. So good morning, and I'm so glad, Kathy, you're here with us. Kathy walked in, and I went, sandals, it's summer. And somebody else said, did you say scandals? I'm like, no. I don't know what else somebody else said. But man, oh man, you can see our language. Wow, be impeccable with your word. We're all about this. So I'm so glad, grateful that you all said yes to come into a place that we're all about loving you as you learn to love yourself. We had a really exciting evening last night. We've been going through the book Mastery of Self, looking and finding that master within you by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., and he was here last night, and there was about 250 people here, so it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. And for all the volunteers that helped us, it was a massive event. If you were here volunteering, let's give you a hand. Yep. It was a lot of fun, and when we left about 10 o'clock, Rose like, we'll see you in the morning. I felt like when I was a flight attendant, when we'd finally get to a city after delays and things that happen to planes, we'd look at each other and go, how many hours do we have behind the door? And that's kind of what I thought last night. How many hours do we have behind the door? So, but it was a great night, and we do great things here. A lot of people that had never been to Unity came. And just as I'm asking people, there's a lot of new people here today that are here for the first time, and we're just so excited. And then all of you that brought a friend, thank you so much. We're doing the first of the month, Bring a Friend. So it's most people get to Unity because a friend said, you know what, if you want to feel good about your life and have a way to resolve any problems and issues that you are creating, you can find out about that divinity within yourself by coming to Unity. So I'm so grateful that we have people that have brought friends and that you're all here today. So let's take a moment to just close our eyes again and be in this energy of letting go and letting God. You know, the question is, what is it that we are letting go of? You know, perhaps we are letting go of any story that you are not whole, you are not valuable, you are not worthy, you are not amazing, just the way you are, and you always have been. I had the joy of running into 8-month-old Beatrice this morning in her little carriage. And I said, hi, baby. And she just bursted into this beautiful smile. And I thought, wow, that little girl knows who she is. And I invite us all to let that smile come across your heart, just knowing that you are spirit in action. So the let God part is letting your heart smile, letting yourself appreciate that you've been given another day. What is it? How do you want to experience this day? You are God in a form that will never come again. And so feel the gratitude of being able to breathe, that your heart is beating, that your soul is always expanding and always wanting to know more about how to rest in the greatness of your own energy. This chair has been selected for you. We've been waiting for you to be here, and everyone is here by divine appointment, and the service would not be what it is without your presence. So we say together, I am. Together, I am. God is. Together, God is, and we are. We are, and all is well. And all is well. And let's breathe in and open your eyes. So we always let this candle represent the light of God that's within you. And it's your neighbor. Yeah, won't you be my neighbor? We're putting on our spiritual sweater. Yes. So I'd like you to put your hand on your heart and just reflect on something about you, your life, this beautiful planet, the nature, a pet. And just feel that sense of that connection. And then you say, I am the light of the world. Together, I am the light of the world. And in our greeting, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to stand and say to one another, you are the light of the world. And please stay in your section. There's lots of lights here. So let's all stand. And as our greeting, good morning, you are the light of the world. Good morning, you're the light of the world. Glad you're here. Good morning, you're the light of the world. You're the light of the world. Oh, yay. That Winnie. All right. You're so bright. You are the light of the world at home, virtually. Okay. So, Winnie, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. She just ran right over to another section. I mean, I am so out of control. All right. And Armand, we welcome you back. There's Armand that is coming back, blessing our journey. So y'all say hi to him. I'm like, where's your hair? But anyway, it's still Armand. So let's just rub our hands together with all that alive, juicy feeling of wellness, and then let's put our hands up and just blessing certainly this community, but people all over the world, creatures, all alive things, as we know the light of God is in all things. And we say together, we are the light of the world. Together, we are the light of the world, and breathe into that truth. So we are today talking about taking off masks, being your authentic self, seeing that mastery, and we have a master of music with us here today, and we're so grateful to welcome Tom Logan and the Peter Polzak Trio.
What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery. No one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the rain is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give? What's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? It seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then? La da da da.
Yeah.
Peter Paulzak, Gretchen Goodrich, Bill Harrison,
The
and
race
Sarah
is
Ellen.
over.
Thank you.
Yeah. Daniel Namod. I love you, Tom Logan. Thank you so much. Oof. So what if the race is over and we all automatically win? Doesn't even matter about microphones either. What if the game is ended before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and you're passing again and again? What if the race is over? What then? What do you think? Because I'm trying to make a point here. There was this pregnant pause and went, all right. Oof. Yeah, did you come from a family where if you came home and you didn't do well on a test, they were like, you're going to pass. You're passing tests of life. You're passing tests of spirit. You're all okay. It's okay. Doesn't matter. The race is over. I wonder how many of us feel like life is a race. You know, we've heard it called a rat race. You know, a to-do list, a degree you've got to get, a relationship you should be in or not be in, children you should have or not have, you know, retirement you should have or not have, money you should have or not have. This place of self-judgment that just goes on and on and on. And so the question, what if the race is over? What if none of that matters? What if just the presence of being able to know your heart is beating and that you are breathing? What if it truly is true that when Jesus said you are the light of the world, it wasn't you're the light of the world if you have a degree, or you're the light of the world if you have a certain kind of bank account, or you're the light of the world if you're married, or you're the light of the world if you're straight or gay or whatever, right? You just are. And it can be so uncomfortable to practice knowing that that's enough. Because we've all been told that there is some achievement to happen that then makes you good or bad. And if it wasn't a school system, it might have been your family system, it could clearly have been your religious system. And so we have just as much unlearning when we come to a center like Unity as we do learning. Can you relate to that? It's a lot of things I get to let go. I get to unlearn. And how do I unlearn them? I unlearn them because something happens to me that upsets me. Ugh. right? Or something happens or a song like that is sung and it's like, oh my gosh, who would I be if I wasn't on this sort of track to accomplish something? What if it really was enough just to be here, sitting in this chair, breathing? What if that really was enough? Let's breathe into that. What a relief. What a relief. And I know from the family I came in that was all about accomplishing and staying busy, it kind of feels like that's a little irresponsible. Really, is that true? How could that possibly be true? I've spent my whole life needing to prove something to the world. What if the race is over? What then? So, mastery of self. This is the 2 chapters that we're looking at today are this idea of masks that we put on to be acceptable in the world, and goal setting, in that what the mask that when we are authentic, when we can remove these masks, that's the time that you would want to set any goal. That a goal is not, again, something that you achieve, something that then you set up yourself to achieve and then beat yourself up if it doesn't happen in the time it's supposed to happen. And when I met Don Miguel Ruiz yesterday, Jr., I met his brother also, and one thing I noticed about this Ruiz family, they are just so chilled. So chilled. And when I hear, Jesus told us don't worry about your life, I think really he was just like, chillax. Chillax, that's what my nephew says to me, chillax. But this family, I think, is just, this teaching is so present, right? And it allows you, every single thing that's happening in your life is the opportunity to see, how am I living it with this? How free do I feel? How masterful do I feel? So he came up, and one of the things he said, the first thing when I said, tomorrow we're doing the masks and the goal setting. I love talking to authors because, I'm the expert of your book. I just want to tell you. We've been doing this. Have you seen our talks, my talks on this? And we have a big class, and he's like, yeah, okay. But he said, I started with these 2 chapters. The 2 chapters were, he said, and the book kind of came out from that. So I was really, that felt really good. But he came out here and he said, I'm Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. He said, my dad loved me so much, he gave me his name. He gave me his name. I've never heard anybody say it like that. But he said, but then I am the son of this guy that wrote the 4 agreements. Right? I'm like, there's this junior added, but so I feel like I have to live this. I have to do this. I have to be this. Talk about a mask that he's put on. And he said, so the way that I finally figured out how to do this was to say, I'm not impeccable with my word all the time. I definitely take things personally. I definitely make assumptions, and I definitely don't do my best all the time. So he was able to say, that's how we live these 4 agreements. We don't set ourselves up to say, don't take anything personally. It's like, okay, I just took that personally, right? So how is it that we get ourselves into this place that, like I said, the race is over and we all automatically win? Like this little Beatrice I saw this morning, really, babies are the best, right? I saw her, she's in her carriage, I'm in the parking lot, and I'm like, baby! I don't know why I do that, but I do. Baby! And she's like, her mother is like, who is this strange, big, blonde person? But anyway, but Beatrice goes, she's so present. She just smiled, her pacifier flies out of her mouth, she's like, ah! And I'm just like, she has no mask, right? She has no story. She knows that there's no race. This moment is a good one. And somebody's got a happy voice and looking at her, right? That's all she needs. And all of us were there, right? I promise you. I know Nori says she was the youngest of 5. There was no pictures of her as a kid, but you were just like that, I promise you. Yeah, the youngest of 6. Even if there were no pictures, you were just like Beatrice. So we're looking at these masks that we wear. And let me tell you how he talks about a mask. He says, when you create an image for yourself as a worker, a student, a husband, a musician, spiritual seeker, or any other role, and use that mask to relate to others, the moment you forget it's a mask, your self-acceptance becomes tied to others' acceptance. Anybody at work go, I need somebody to tell me I'm doing a good job? Others' acceptance and applause, as well as how to perform in this role. If you don't meet the standards others have set for you in these roles or the ones you've set for yourself, you reject yourself. This is another example of domestication and self-domestication in action. And it happens the moment you confuse any mask you're wearing with who you really are. Clinging too tightly to any mask only leads to suffering. Another problem that occurs when you identify with a mask is that you often try to keep the mask alive long after the need for it is gone. We see this in many manifestations in the dream of the planet, such as when parents attempt to manage the lives of their children long after they've grown up. Oh, no one does that. Or when someone continues to base his or her acceptance or self-importance on who they used to be in the past proverbial glory days. Right? Both are common examples of what happens when someone attempts to hold on to a particular role when it's plain that the time for that role is over. All right? So we get to practice this, right? Please don't start putting, I got to be perfect in this. But as a parent, there's a time where you're performing in that role. But what happens when you're just going out with your girlfriends or with your guy friends or when you're here and your children are over there, right? Who are you, right? And how do we practice being the parent but then not being the parent? And how do we practice at work having your job or whatever it is, but then you don't have your job at times. You're not working. Now, I'll tell you, I have a master's in marriage and family therapy, and when I first got into it and started doing therapy, I loved it. Oh gosh, I was figuring out my family and my role and my birth order. But, woe be anybody that wanted to be my friend or certainly date me at that time. What is the relationship you have with your parents? What was your birth order? How do you get along with your siblings? It's like, I thought we were going to talk about like movies or things we liked, and get away from me. I actually had somebody I dated years ago say, Heidi, this has been interesting, but I don't want to know more about myself. Thank you. Seriously. So anyway, because I'll tell you, the you, right, that is not that job is very vulnerable, right? Who am I if I'm not trying to fix somebody? Who am I if I'm just hanging around and watching the sunset with somebody or noticing a flower or isn't it cool outside, right? It's so interesting to just practice being in the presence with another person, just being, right, without this role of who you think you need to be. Okay, now I'm going to tell this story again. It's very profound and true, so that's why I'm telling it, all right? Okay, there was a Catholic neighborhood. Maybe some of you grew up in this kind of neighborhood, and a Lutheran family moved into that Catholic neighborhood. And the Catholics got home about 5 o'clock after their Friday night work, and they got out of their car, and they're going, oh, it smells like steak. Steak on a Friday. This is not good. It must be those Lutherans that moved into the neighborhood. So they go over to the Lutheran's house, and they said, you know what? I think you really want to be part of this neighborhood. It's great to be part of this neighborhood. We're all in this together. We like each other and we do things alike. And you could be Catholic and be part of us. And so the Lutherans clearly were very open-minded people and said, what does it take to be a Catholic? And they said, it's no big deal. We have this little ceremony we do and we'll come over and we'll perform this ceremony and then you can be part of us. And so they go over to the Lutheran's house and they get a little water and they just sprinkle them. And they say, you were born a Lutheran, you were raised a Lutheran, and now you're a Catholic. That's it. And they said, that's great. Yeah, and you need to go to Mass. And really, the main thing is we eat fish on Fridays. So we really, you got to eat that one right. Okay, we're good. All right. So, another week goes by. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so glad. The Lutherans are in our group. So they come home, and on Friday, they get out of the cars, and it smells like steak again. What is happening? And they go over and they look over the fence into the Lutherans' backyard and they're grilling their steaks and they've got water and they're sprinkling the steak saying, you were born a cow, you were raised a cow, and now you're a fish. But seriously, when you were raised in your family, if you was a Catholic family, could you have said, you know what, I'm going to go to the synagogue this weekend, right? I'm not going to do this Catholic thing. How would that have worked? I mean, you don't even have a car. But the idea, right, of being able to be who you are with all the pressure of, don't you want to be part of the group? Don't you want to be part of us? And the pressure that we get to just dumb down, to put that bushel over our light, to be part of how quickly it happens to us because we were raised that way. You know, it's so interesting for a family to be raised in a way that is, everybody here is an individual. And you all need to discern what is right for you. It'd be a good system, but a really unpredictable system, right? So most people we raise, we are this, we do this, we go here, we go there. Now, I do see more of these young kids at Unity. They come up, your daughter came up and said, I think I'm an atheist. Nobody said a word. Everybody was like, good for you, right? Because we are so much about, that's your truth. And Unity really believes, I believe what Jesus was teaching, was that, tell me about that light of God within you. Tell me what that means to you. Not we're here to tell you, how could I possibly know what God's doing in you? But you could tell me what God's doing in you. So let's look at a Bible story. We can see the mask, right? The Catholics had on their mask. The Lutherans were actually willing to take their mask off, but then they put on another mask because they wanted to be part of this experience but it's not really oneness. It's a place of, this is how we're all going to perform. So my question is, what do you think the mask is that you might be wearing? Whether it's your job, or maybe your parenting, or even being, what does male and female do? Oh my gosh, being a minister? Hello. It's really fascinating to see. Where's the line? What did I learn about ministry? Because it was very rote and solemn in the Episcopal Church where I grew up, and here we have Unity that we dance and we move and we sing. So what is that? And how do we not try to put masks on other people? Okay, I'm going to get you to do a little exercise with somebody next to you. I just want you to, like the E.T. thing, just put your finger with another person's finger, all right? Okay, you can turn around if you need another person, and if not, let's see, I'll come over here to Tom. Okay, so the idea is that your ability to control anything ends at the tip of your finger, all right? That's where it ends. And the other person begins at the tip of their finger. And do we see how any story or mask that you're wearing has nothing to do with that other person? And so the ability to allow people to really be who they are. Isn't that interesting to go, oop, I stopped there, because I could see all kinds of things. Tom, well, you should have on I don't know, you look great today. But the idea that, there could be something about Tom that I wanted to change. But see, you can see that is where the God in me is not honoring the God in you. So, all right, so we see where our mask, very good, everybody, and you can, you may want to practice that with your spouse and see how that feels. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do a story from the New Testament. A gentleman named Saul, who was King Saul, and Saul had a story about, he was a Jewish man, but he was very zealous in persecuting followers of Jesus. And it was the mask he wore, and people really admired him because he was a scholar, and this was his story, that he was, the people that were following Jesus, they were wrong, on a wrong path. And I believe, we know anybody else have a story about how other people should change, and all those people, maybe, I don't know, political party, everybody should be different, right? And it's a lot of pain that we carry with that mask. So Saul had been told that the followers of Jesus were going to Damascus, and he was all excited about going to Damascus because he wanted to get rid of those people. And in fact, he was very supported to go because everybody knew that was his big goal. And so on his way to Damascus, he is blinded by a light. And he falls to the ground, and let's see, who do we have up here? Oh, if the race was over. Okay, so he falls to the ground, and the Christ consciousness in him speaks to him and says to him, why are you persecuting me? This is Jesus. This is the idea of, do you have it up here? Well, it should be up there. It says, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? And Saul says, who are you, Lord? He says, I am Jesus, whom you're persecuting. Now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. So Saul is got his mask. He's out to persecute people following Jesus. And because his soul wants more, he's blinded by light. He's asked in we say consciousness now because we really know that Christ is within us, that consciousness. Why are you in this war? Why are you persecuting something that's more true for you? He cannot see. He's blinded by light. He is led into Damascus where a healer that is a follower of Jesus comes to heal him and is kind of not sure they even want to heal him because they're saying, isn't this Saul that wants to persecute us? And God, in God's wisdom that is within us, says, we're here to heal people that want to be healed. And so Saul's sight, he's blind for 3 days. His sight is restored, and he ends up becoming Paul, Apostle Paul, that the message of Jesus would have never really been carried out at the level it was without Apostle Paul. So what happens to Saul is Saul represents that part of us that is that mask. That part of us that's against the world, the part of us that's stuck in our job mask, the part of us that is me versus the world. And then we get these wake-up calls, right? I mean, for me, as a sober alcoholic today, I was getting arrested for drinking and driving. That was a fun day, yeah. So, things happen. People, sometimes you get ill, or a job ends, or a job begins, or a relationship has problems. And there's this blinding light that is, there's more to me than this story of being mad at the world, than this role that I am in, with this mask that I wear. And if we're willing, there's all kinds of people that come around to help us see better, to help us see that healing, loving part that's within all of us. I know you're thinking, if I had an acronym, this would make a lot more sense, right? Okay, so let me show you what I got going on here. So we've actually got a chart for people that like charts. It's the mask down. Okay, here we go. All right, so mask. So with the mask, we mimic people. We want to act like people, like the Lutherans, right? What do I need to do to be Catholic? It's an act. It's a performance. I won't have fish on Friday. I won't have meat on Friday. An act with Saul, I'm going to be a persecutor. You're stuck when you wear your mask. There's a place of you that's not evolving. And there's a knowledge, I know this is true. Kind of a knowledge that has a limit to it. You can also get this chart out on the wings if you want a copy of it. So without a mask, you're in a meditative state. You're sort of pondering. This idea, Paul came into being a healer, being a teacher. This idea of going beyond, like, who would I be if I'm not my job? If the race is over, what then? Do you see how that takes you into this meditative state? That there's an authenticity that's coming through. It's a big deal to be you, but it can feel really vulnerable, but there's an authenticity that you're seen. Right? You're seen, and you may be seen in the way of, I'm sort of afraid to be myself. Many people, when they retire, there's a lot of studies that say people get depressed, if people don't know what to do, people have really lost their identity. So, you're going to be able to see yourself. Man, what do I want to do? What is going on in my life? And there's a kindness to yourself and others that comes from when you take your mask off. All right? We have an affirmation, and let's say this together. All right? You're going to say your name. Don't say blank. All right? Okay, so it's I and your name, and then we'll say the rest, okay? Ready? All right, here we go. I, Heidi, am perfect and complete right now. I love myself no matter what. I am the artist of my life, and it is time to paint my masterpiece. And let's breathe into that truth. Very good. All right, so I want to close with a story. Folks, I love biography, right? Because I haven't seen anyone ever that was alive that isn't going through this process of letting go of a mask. And I think everyone knows of Jim Carrey, the comedian. And Jim Carrey grew up, his mom was ill, his father lost his job early in life, and he spent a lot of his life living in a mobile home with his entire family. Many of them became janitors, and so Jim Carrey's way of getting out of this was to be funny. And so he developed this sense of being funny. His teacher said They said it, whether you can hear it or not. But his teachers said that they would let him perform his comedy show at the end of the day at school if he just shut up during class. So this past for him, I think. What do you think? Are we okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. Okay, so it became, we'll just see how it goes. It became a mask for him in many ways to be funny. Anybody have that one, you know, where, oh, and I tell a joke. This is, okay. So I think this is red too. Hello? All right. So we know my brother is this kind of guy. Oh, God bless him if he's watching. But you know, this idea of telling a joke. So this was Jim's thing, and he had this mask. Many of you know he went up to the Hollywood sign, and he wrote himself a $10 million check. And he said, I want to be successful. I don't know how this is going to work out. He wrote himself a $10 million check that he was going to cash in 10 years. And he actually did, you know, clearly became very famous. He put that check in his father's coffin when he died, because his dad had really inspired him to be funny. But Jim has also turned into quite a spiritual teacher, and he says that he thinks everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that that is not the answer. Because what he's recognized, that when he got to this place of being successful, that it was the soul of him. It was the master of him that brought him to it. But when he takes off the mask of being a performer, he's Jim Carrey. Right? So this is our opportunity in this story of not living with these masks on, knowing that you're so much more, that the race is over and you've already won. So I'm going to show a little film of Jim talking about some of these concepts, and he will actually say that quote right there. So let's watch Jim. No, it's not that one. That's later. You want to lower the screen? Is this one? Yes, that's what I told you, honey. All right, lower the screen, please.
The effect of my father's love and humor and how it altered the world around me. And I thought, that's something to do. That's something worth my time. When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We're not the pictures on the film stock. We are the light that shines through. All else is just smoke and mirrors, distracting, but not truly compelling. That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond the personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with war all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this warm. Risk being seen in all of your glory. I've often said that I wish people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself. Until someone smarter than myself made me realize that there is nothing bigger than myself. Our eyes are not viewers. They are also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script. And the working title is, I'll Never Be Enough. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. You will only ever have two choices. Love or fear. Choose love. And don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. All that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Yeah, good stuff. So love or fear? Clearly, fear is the place where you wear the mask, and love is your freedom. Love is your mastery. He says, don't ever turn away from your playful heart. I'm going to close with one thing. I'm not used to talking like this. I feel like Jim Carrey. Okay, all right. 135, all right. Okay. My point is this. When you use unconditional self-love as the starting point when setting any goal, you remain aware that perfection is not tied to the end result, but rather the reality of the present moment. You were perfect on the onset, and you are perfect now. You are perfect throughout. You are aware the entire time that the end result won't define you. It is through the practice of awareness that you are able to see the perfection that exists in yourself, which also lets you see perfection in the world around you and in each being in it. So the race is over, and you have all won. And so if we make our lives from that place of completion and wellness and wholeness, it just gets better and better and better. And let's say our affirmation one more time. I love the music behind the affirmation, so that's great. Here we go. And again, your name.
I am perfect and complete right now. I love myself no matter what. I am the artist of my life, and it is time to paint my masterpiece.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So I invite you to close your eyes for a moment, and we just breathe in. This is the time to marinate in this truth, to really practice the idea, if the race is over and I automatically win, what might I risk? What might I try? What might I experience? Just being. So God is all these things that you are, God is. And so you can open your eyes, and Gretchen will lead us in our meditation song.
God is life and I am life. God is life and I am life. God is light and I am light. God is light and I am light. God is joy and I am joy. God is joy and I am joy. God is love and I am love. God is love and I am love. God is peace and I am peace. God is peace and I am peace. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is power and I am power. God is power and I am power. God is good, yes, God is good. God is good, yes, God is. All these things God is. All these things I am. All these things God is. All these things I am. All these things God is.
All these things I am. All these things God is. All these things I am. God is good. So we breathe into that flow and music and just let that mask come off. You may have roles in life of working or being a parent or a partner, but they are not the finiteness of you. You are infinite, you are evolving, you are breathing, you are pulsing, you are unlearning and learning. You're a drop in the grandness of the ocean, but truly you are the ocean itself. And so if you can think of yourself as that wide open, flowing, limitless energy, it can help you relax into your greatness. So we let ourselves be free to have this time of meditation and authenticity and being seen and being very kind. So be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still. Be. I breathe into this moment, feeling so grateful that I breathe, feeling so grateful that I am, remembering that I was a precious baby and child, and there was a time when I just was delighted by noticing life. And so we come together to let that mastery, that childlike wonder be reignited. And knowing that God is in the presence of each and every one of us, in every cell of our being. And our opportunity is to let go and let God. So I invite you to take the hand of your family member as we close our time together meditating. All these things God is, all these things I am, all these things God is, all these things I am. All these things God is, all these things I am, all these
God is. All these things I am. God is good.
We invite you to speak the names of those you would like held in prayer into the sacred space. We hold our beloved community in our hearts and prayers. We hold our minister, Rev Heidi, our board, our staff, our volunteers in this powerful prayer energy. We include the names on the board behind us, and we especially pray for Rev Patty Pipia and her family. May the peace and oneness bless our brothers and sisters around the world as we hold the high watch as peacemakers. Thank you, God, for prayers already answered, and so it is. Amen. We're your prayer chaplains for this service. This is Eva, I'm Sue Ellen, Tom, Diane, and we're here to pray with you in the Fillmore room around the corner or wherever you may find us. We honor your confidentiality, and we invite you to sign up for the monthly wellness call. If you haven't already, you only need to sign up once, and one of the prayer chaplains will give you a call, and we'll be so honored to pray with you. Thank you so much, and so it is. Amen.
I had my monthly wellness call last week, and it was so sweet to just have that message on my machine. So if you would like a wellness call, please sign up, and once a month you'll have this beautiful message left, and you can refer to it anytime. It's a great way to remove that mask of seriousness. So the other mask that we can wear often is this mask if I don't have enough. I'm always, like kind of living day to day. And so that the truth is that you are abundance in action. We put our April financials on the back of our bulletin. And I know of course, we're running in the red. We have tons and tons of expenses here. And we just, really need you all just to know that it's about $50,000 a month to run our building. And with 200 people, it ends up being about $50 a person per week. So if if that works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, at least you know. And there's so many other ways to get involved. We have a number of things just right there that you can think about. You can adopt a bill. You could take electricity for December, hey. And so the idea is that we have groups that take, we had the choir took one of the bills. So you can come together with other friends and take a bill. And that's on a poster board downstairs in the hallway. You can be part of our Abundant Life program. That's any amount that you give on a recurring basis, and you can sign up with Dan Ray. Right up here, and then you get 10% off of everything that happens here at Unity. We have our Unity reusable bags that are $7 each, and that's a great way to help us out. And then there's a Blockbuster experience. There's a gala dinner that's going to happen on June 25th. I'm going to go, and it's another way to just, again, be part of the flow. So there's many, many ways to be part of our wellness and take off that mask of not having enough. It's a beautiful way to just reflect on what all happens here and what all you receive here. So let us say our affirmation together, our divine love flowing through us. That may be another thing you didn't say to yourself today. I am divine love, richly flowing. Oh my gosh. So let's just put your hand on your heart as we can say this together. All right. Divine love, richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way. Yes. And it's down in your soul, I can tell you right now.
All right, you all know how this works. You help me out. I hear the music. down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. Bring it home, Unity. I feel the power down in my soul. I feel the power, you feel it, down in my soul. I feel the power down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. Yes, it is now. I say the whole wide world is my home. All right, Unity.
I tell ya, that girl's got her mask off. That's for sure. Whoa, Nellie. All right, so let's just breathe into abundance and gratitude and wellness and thriving for Unity in Chicago and for each and every one of you. I am prosperity in action. Together, I remove the mask of lack. My life works beautifully. I give generously. I receive gratefully. And all is well. Thank you. Thanks so much. Fantastic. Okay, so today we're doing this at least once a year. We're going to honor each of our teams. These volunteer teams have been around for so many years, and people have just given their heart and soul and joy. And so one team that has been around for a long, long time is our pet ministry, and we have Carol Stiegel coming up here to tell us about it. I got to see her. So her shirt is "Happiness is a pit bull smile." All right. So can you come on up here, darling? Yeah, right here. Yep.
Okay. Well, good morning. I'm not very good at this, but I'm going to try.
Oh, you're the best. You're taking off your mask.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit. She's got a mask. That one's got a mask. Anyway, I've been involved with the pet ministry here for a very long time. We started the pet ministry, and I was just a member when Mike Matoyan was here. And then went through many people, but Olga was in charge, and she left about 10 years ago. And Jay Hand asked me to work with her and the church, and that's what I'm doing, and I still am. And I have a lot of help. I have team members, and I have this whole congregation, which has been really blessed for us and the animals. Our mission has been to rescue an animal in need of providing emergency care, basic needs such as food, shelter, safety, spay and neuter them, and find a home if we could. We provide assistance to owners who are no longer able to care for their pets. Low-cost spay and neuter is of the utmost importance to me in addressing the overpopulation and the many animals I get, and people are not still aware that the bottom line is you got to spay and neuter them. I don't care how many adoption agencies you have more animals than homes. In the last year, we rescued mostly dogs and cats, but also rabbits, a guinea pig, a parakeet, a baby bird, and a rooster. We fostered a homeless person's dog and cat until they found a home, and have helped to pay for a number of major surgeries or help congregants with their unexpected expenses. They are all grateful, pets grateful, owners grateful, and I am so grateful for Unity's support of the pet ministry, and I can tell you that none of this would be possible without you. Where do we find the animals? Church members, friends, neighbors, police, word of mouth. I've been called 10 years after helping someone, and
and give Carol a huge round of applause. Yeah, woo!
This girl's up for adoption, you guys. She belonged to a homeless lady who has never gotten together yet, so she's going to be looking for a home.
So she's downstairs too. All right. Okay. Beautiful. I have a 1 second. It's a 1 minute little video I want to show you. It'll help you want to come to the pet blessing. So just watch this.
I look up and I see God. I look down and see my dog. Simple spelling G-O-D. Same word backwards D-O-G. They would stay with me all day. I'm the one who walks away. But both of them just wait for me and dance in my return with glee. Both love me no matter what. Divine God and canine mutt. Take it hard each time I fail, but God forgives. Dog wags his tail. God thought up and made the dog. Dog reflects a part of God. I've seen love from both sides now. It's everywhere. Amen. Bow wow. I look down and see my dog, and in my human frailty, I can their love for me.
Yeah. No masks, right? No masks for the animals. That's right. So please come to the pet blessing, even if you don't bring your pet, and it's just a beautiful experience. Read your bulletin, read your inserts, everything's going on. If you have any interest in coming to the Danube, we've been talking about that. That's in September. Please sign up today, talk to me. We're starting a new series about your 12 powers. That's going to be on Father's Day. We're starting that. Unity book, Unity message, all about unity. I'm starting a members class, Unity members class. That should be in your bulletin also. And we have all the other books of Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. We sold out of the Mastery of Self, but if you want one, just tell us. And I believe we're going to have, so the thing is, yes, if you are new, if you're here for the first time, because I talked to a number of you, please raise your hand. We have a flower and we have a gift. I know a few of you are out there, so yeah, so raise your hand. And thank you for being here. Excellent. We have a reception for you in there. You get a Unity bag that'll save you 7 cents every time you go shopping. And we'd love to get your, just know more about you, how you found us, because you're here by divine appointment. All right, so again, read your bulletin, get online. We'd love for you to sign up for the e-news, and you get all the info you need. And here is Kathy Mathis to tell us about these beautiful flowers. Woo!
Okay, continuing our theme this morning, the flowers are generously donated by Carol Stiegel and the Pet Ministry. In gratitude. And here's their note. The Pet Ministry team and I would like to thank Rev Heidi, the Board of Directors, and the congregants of Unity in Chicago for allowing, supporting, and sharing our vision of rescue, rehabbing, and rehoming of deserving critters. Our pet ministry at Unity Chicago is truly one of a kind, just as Unity Chicago itself is. There are very few churches that include a pet ministry, and we realize and appreciate how special you are. I would also like to thank my team members, Charlie, Lorianne, Dan, Marcia, Margaret, and Deb, and all who make our work possible. So thank you, Carol. Thank you to all the other team members. And thank you for being such an important part of Unity in Chicago and really being one of the special teams that makes this community what it is. Thank you. So if you would like to donate flowers for your special occasion, July dates are available. You can stop by the information desk or you can email Mickey at Unity Chicago to reserve your dates. And just a couple reminders for you. This is the first Sunday of the month, which means Pranic Healing is being held today at 12:15 in the library. All love offerings are generously donated to Unity in Chicago. Unity en Español, our Spanish service, is moving to the second and fourth Sundays of the month, so there will not be a service today. So please join them next Sunday, June 11th at 1 o'clock in the Oak Room.